Breaking news. Russia's former number 2 in the Ukraine is dead. Late Wednesday, authorities announced the death of a senior general who was briefly in charge of Russia's armed forces in Ukraine last year due to an undisclosed illness. Known as the head of Russia's Eastern Military District, Colonel General Gennady Zhidko passed away in Moscow, after a long illness, as reported by Mikhail Dektyarov, governor of Russia's Far East Khabarovsk region. According to independent journalist Dmitry Kolozev, who cites an anonymous source, Zhidko's cancer-related death at age 57 doesn't seem suspicious. As a senior member of the Russian military, Zhidko was hit with sanctions by the US and EU earlier this year. The Swiss Secretariat for Economic Affairs reported in April that Zhidko oversaw the implementation of an order to deploy Russian miners to the Ukrainian war theater. In late May 2022, the general reportedly took command of Russian forces in Ukraine, as reported by the independent investigative group Conflict Intelligence Team. In July 2022, for failures during military operations, the BBC's Russian service reported that he was quietly replaced. A few months later, Russian forces were expelled from both the northeastern Kharkiv region and the southern Kherson region of Ukraine. Zhidko was previously the deputy defense minister from 2021 to 2022 and oversaw Russian forces in Syria from 2016 to 2018. In 2017, Putin awarded him Russia's highest honor, the title of Hero of Russia. The Russian military has remained silent on the death of Zhidko. The death in prison of a Russian general who had access to information about Vladimir Putin's £1 billion Black Sea palace is being investigated as suspicious. The 69-year-old General Gennady Loprev collapsed on Monday, gasping for air, and was later diagnosed with leukemia. Just as he was about to be released on parole, there are rumors that he was murdered by poison. The military court found the general guilty of bribery and illegal ammunition possession in 2017, sentencing him to 10 years in prison. As a member of the Federal Protection Service, FSO, he oversaw the construction of Putin's massive Gelendzhik Palace, a private residence on a clifftop allegedly built with state funds. In Sochi, he oversaw the construction of Bacharov Rushe, the dictator's official residence. He was one of Putin's closest security aides up until his arrest, and in 2002 he was even spotted in Moscow with the Russian president and the then British Prime Minister, Tony Blair. It comes after the suspicious death this week of another Russian general who led the invasion of Ukraine before being purged by Putin. On Sunday, Gen Loprev seemed fine while talking to his son Alexander, but on Monday, he started having trouble talking and breathing, as reported on the Telegram channel VCHK-OGPU. Similar to Putin critic Alexei Navalny, who was poisoned with the nerve agent Novichok, the channel reported that he had trouble breathing and a hoarse voice. On Monday, Loprev was transferred between two hospitals after being removed from penal colony number 3 in the Ryazan region. Through the phone, he informed his son Alexander, "I was first taken to Skopin hospital, and they found nothing conclusive. Now they diagnosed me with leukemia and rushed me to the Ryazan Regional Hospital," he said. But isn't leukemia a cancer? The son questioned. "You can't be caught in 2 days, can you?" Alexander told the media, "I also spoke to the chief of their medical unit, who said his heart check returned normal, and lungs were clear. It's tough to put our finger on what happened. It was time for us to submit an application for his parole, so we did just that. And now I get this call, announcing his death. It's all very weird and much too fast," he said. Alexander said his father was in peak physical condition because he did gymnastics every day in the penal colony.